Hello and welcome to the War Report. I am your host, Cyrus. Quan is at Bridgeport. He enjoyed a great he says it's a good AEW show. Uh, this is a show where we talk about NXT and AEW, and I am joined by a special guest, the armchair all tour, Dom Griffin. What else? You're on RNC watches, Triple Beam streams.
Yes. Yes, sir.
TikTok pal sending each other unhinged TikTok.
Unhinged TikTok Central.
If you are a patron, he was on our Lucha Underground episode.
Yes, I was. Thank you for having me.
Hey man. Oh, and I gotta oh no, I'm not sure if I can say that, but you'll have another special appearance I think this week, actually, or next week. So
yeah, true. Yep.
Yeah, so look out for that. Dom is a great friend of mine, and I love his thoughts on wrestling because I think he is. I would say you are just like what I would say, critical like me, but you let a lot of shit slide, and I don't like that.
I try to. It's very similar, I think, to like my approach to like film criticism, which is like, I have a very critical eye, and like there's things that I don't like, and like I have a lot of fundamental gripes with certain things. But if I end up enjoying something in spite of those gripes, I just don't like to pretend I didn't. You know what I mean? Like if I had a good time, even if it's like objectively bad or whatever, people be like, "But that was this. It's inconsistent with your other views." I'm like, yeah, but like, I enjoyed myself. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? Like, I just won't front.
I had a blast.
Like, if I had a good time, I'm gonna share that, and like, hopefully, people that know me or listen to me can tell. Sometimes I'll say something as like a blast, and like they know that means like, oh well, Dom's like broken inside and pops for very simple things. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, if you're doing well, you might not enjoy this. So I just try to be honest with people.
Did that happen in any point during watching AEW tonight? I need to know.
Man, when you texted me and you were like, "Hey, do you want to be on the War Report this week?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" I tend to watch Dynamite almost every week anyway. There's some nights I don't, like if I'm at a screening or something. If I'm not home when it airs, I'm not catching anything later.
Yeah, you're not rushing to go home.
I'm not doing that. Even when friends are like, "Oh, there's this one really good match," I'm like, "That's cool." I will literally probably never see it. But no, not much tonight. It's funny because even last week, like we were in the Discord watching it, and I was like, "Hey, some of this stuff was like pretty good. This was like all right, you know. There was a couple of nice moments, but this week was a lot."
So the War Report that I wasn't on, which I think was like 2 weeks ago, everybody was just like, "Hey, man, that was a pretty good fucking show," and I was just like, "Man, shit." Well, like actually, like what? Well, I'm lying because I wasn't like, fuck shit, because I went to go see Dua Lipa, and I don't give a shit. And so I was just like, either you guys are lying, or good for them. Like we're on the road to Revolution, so this is a good thing. But nah, man.
No.
The following week, I was just like, I mean, it was okay, and then now we're just back to standard Dynamite. It nicely.
Standard Dynamite. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but like it genuinely saddens me when I see so many people online who are like really big AEW heads, and they just say just the hyperbolic things they say about the show, and like, this is blowing Raw out of the water, and this is going to be Revolution's going to be better than WrestleMania and stuff like that. And it's like, look, man,
nah.
I give these people a lot of like leeway because I'm like, I understand like the some of the limitations, but no, just stop that, please.
The hype around it does make me a little bit jaded because I'm just like, oh, you're just straight up lying, or like you're seeing something completely different, and I don't stand how.
I feel it feels like a Mandela effect thing where I'm like, is everyone else just watching a different show? Are they being piped a different show than I'm being piped? But you know what I wonder? I feel like if I never paid attention to online discourse around AEW, if I never interacted with like Reddit or Twitter or like weird Facebook comments and stuff, if I never saw the typical AEW fans' thoughts and I casually watched this like every other Wednesday or something, I'd probably be okay with it. I'd be like, this is all right. Like there's some guys that I kind of like. If I watch in the background, like it's not that big a deal. Any week where I watch it and I see people's thoughts, like every Fightful tweet just makes me want to like bash my head into the wall. I'm just like, please stop doing it.
I wish I could agree, but like even when I was no longer on Twitter, like just for like a couple months or so,
you had a nice little break.
Yeah, I still felt like these shows were like not that great. But speaking of Fightful, let's get these new segments out of the way.
Yes.
Let's get into it. And before we get into the meat of it, we're just going to talk about some things that happened over on NXT. So former coach Hideki Suzuki at NXT, he was going by Hachiman, and he talks about a scenario with, I think, Pro Wrestling Weekly about getting into an argument with the coach and just sticking up for the wrestlers in the promotion. So he talks about how there was a coach meeting happening in the Performance Center, and he kind of just said, nah, I'm going to continue training the wrestlers. And I thought, yeah, that's cool. Like, if there's nothing to really talk about, then, why are we having a meeting when I could do something way more productive? Like, I think we've all been there at some point in time. And then that got him in trouble with, one of the other coaches were upset with him. He mentions that Bernard, as we would know, is Matt Bloom. He talked to Hachiman about it. He wasn't upset about it at all. So it just seemed like some other coworker was taking their job way too fucking seriously.
That's the thing that stuck out to me in that story was I thought like, oh, like if the higher ups were mad that it was like an important meeting or something from like a, like bureaucratic level or whatever. Okay. Yeah. But for like Bloom's like still at the head of like training, right? Yeah. Is it like the old Demott role? If he was like, hey man, so I don't even know who, Terry Taylor, I don't know, someone was like, somebody was like mad, but you're not mad, you're the guy in charge. Like, I mean, I would say who gives a shit, but at the same time, like, dog, when they signed Suzuki and then like I didn't know he was still there, and then he showed up with Diamond Mine, I was like, he still has a job? How does he still have a job? What are they gonna do with him? He's not like young. He's like I've seen, I don't know, I think maybe 3 or 4 Suzuki matches in my life. But like, I just didn't understand how he worked there. I didn't like, I don't know how that came to be. Sometimes it happens and you're just like, when did you fucking get in? I don't remember the WWE press release about.
I remember the press release, and then I was just like, why? Well, like, I wasn't like, why, but I was like kind of surprised, and they were just like, oh, he's just gonna be a coach, and I was just like, oh, okay.
Oh, that makes sense. But then it was on TV when the Diamond Mine debuted. I was like,
when he was with Diamond Mine, I was just like,
because I like legit, I really felt like that entire angle was like, okay, and then we have this like stoic Japanese guy. Like that's how you know we're not like, fucking around. He just stands there like arms folded.
Yeah,
like, yeah.
And then like, he was supposed to be the coach of Diamond Mine. And then after, he got released, it was just like, yeah, Diamond Mine just train themselves. Fuck it. And
they all just
like, why'd y'all even put him in that role?
They assault each other when they lose, and Roddy glares at them, and Bivens makes jokes. It's like kind of the perfect stable, but
yeah,
absolutely. You didn't really need a guy standing around being a
silent,
being a pedigreed check stealer,
We get a lot of check stealers, but I'm mad they got to him first. A quote that I guess can allude to whoever was like really a part of it. He just said, "This isn't the 80s. This is 2022. It's not the coaches who are the main characters. It's the young guys." And I was just like, "Hey man,
that can apply to several guys." Yeah. Man,
and so I would agree. Yeah, like
I mean, it's probably true.
Yeah, and then somebody who I felt is probably being trying to be a main character. This is another Fightful story where Scotty 2 Hotty, who was also a release coach, talks about Vince McMahon shooting down his idea. I read this whole article. I wish I did not. Because I thought his idea was stupid, and I don't know why you had to type 500 plus words for this very dumb idea.
Wait, what was the idea?
So basically, when the pandemic started and things started shutting down, theater started shutting down, Broadway started shutting down, and a lot of these Broadway performers were just, just out and about. He wanted to give tryouts to Broadway actors.
Oh.
And then his understanding was like, some of them are ripped.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, so look, I'll say this, right? I think that's sort of a bad idea for like what NXT does. But I think you definitely could have gotten a couple of drama kids that turned out to be good superstars. Like just realistically speaking, there's probably a couple of athletic guys and they already know how to act and stuff. And like, they already understand like performance and like in some ways it could be applicable, beneficial, right? But didn't they already have enough fucking drama nerds essentially? But they're just drama nerds that grew up watching like tape trading and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't think they needed more guys that like, like character is important and all that stuff, but like, I don't know how that would have turned out. You know what I mean? Like, I get that people think that it like, well, hiring ex-basketball players is bad. And I'm like, I don't think it is. I think like in the history of pro wrestling, most wrestlers that we idolize and love started out in some other sport first. They didn't start out just being nerds. They didn't just start being fans.
I'd say this to actually be like very critical and not just kind of like shit on his idea outright. Getting somebody who was already athletic to do something athletic seems like a no-brainer, right? But with these football players, and stuff like that, all you have to really do is give them a character. And a lot of these people, or, a lot of people that we see on NXT 2.0, they're more or less just being themselves.
Yeah. I think that, people always say that the best wrestling gimmicks is just like you turned up to 11. Yeah. Like the best wrestling gimmicks is not, oh, I'm a guy like this, but my character is like, it's not D&D. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be drastically, you're not creating a player in a video game, then you get to do a bunch of non-you shit. It should be you, but more.
Yeah. And then I think like once, like if the Broadway actor is not interested in wrestling and they take a back bump, I don't know, guys.
I mean, maybe if they exclusively got people from like that Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark musical, like those guys were taking mad bumps and stuff. So like throw them in a ladder match. They're probably ready.
Yeah. You just have to get the cast of Cats and watch them have a no false count anywhere match. It should be crazy. But not like, I definitely think like it's cool. Like it's not a terrible idea because we get like Cirque du Soleil people and like we get them.
Sure, like Reggie's been kind of working out and stuff. So
yeah. But no, I am definitely a fan of former athlete doing transitioning over Broadway. And plus, I don't think most Broadway actors would really be interested if they weren't already interested in wrestling.
But, I'm honestly imagining like an actor mad that he's out of work because of the pandemic, showing it to the PC, doing like blow up drills, stuff. Just being like, what the fuck? Like really?
I think like because he was just like, let's get some of the kind of like the ones that like look good, which are like shredded or whatever. And I was like, I think it's a different kind of athletic when it comes to like Broadway actors.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, the God's honest truth is like, could they have done his idea and found some gems? Maybe. But them not doing the idea is not one of those, the phrase you hear on Twitter all the time is like, how could they miss out on like, I can't hear that cadence of like, how could you miss out on the
how can they miss out on the lead actress on Mamma Mia?
Like the last thing I need is like Lin-Manuel Miranda, the next Lin-Manuel Miranda in the PC talking like that. No, thank you.
Absolutely not. But one interesting thing that he said in the article was he felt like a lot of older NXT acts could have benefited from being part of 2.0 when he was asked about the new transition, specifically naming Kona Reeves and Wesley Blake of Forgotten Sons and former NXT champion.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that Wesley Blake exists. Like sometimes I forget that he's not Buddy
Mhm.
Murphy. Like you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I know they're two different people, but just drawing a
I
blank on that guy. Like when
completely
I
drawing a
picture the
blank.
tag team, I just picture two buddies. That's what I actually see in my mind.
You know what?
Um,
I do too.
right? Like that's actually how I feel. Connor Reeves is cool, I guess. I mean, yeah. The truth is, I think a lot of people more than just those two guys benefit from 2.0
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
it's like it's like real developmental. It's not like a super
Yeah.
indie, you know. It's straight up, it's just people get to try new things and they get to learn like on the job, and they're not just like backstage waiting for Johnny Gargano to stop looking at his hands or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I get honestly like even 2.0 episodes where like I watch like objectively not good matches. It's like, oh hey, this match isn't really good, but I remember this person got signed 6 months ago. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
know they're very new to this, and that's okay, and they'll get better.
Mm,
It's like watching old FCW or original NXT and stuff. But
yeah.
uh,
The original NXT that people say they miss, and then when they get it back, I don't really know, man. Adam Cole's not here. Like, come on, guys, what the fuck?
yeah,
Uh,
it's people forget how many. I mean, like they forget how many people came from that system. You know what I mean? Like
mhm.
it's like that's a real thing that I just because it wasn't like broadly on television the same way that modern NXT is, like it works, you know?
Mhm. Now we're gonna get into the juice, the bulk of the in the trenches. Kenny Omega on Wrestling Observer Radio. I put essentially just burying Cody, but I have a lot of interesting quotes here. Do you want to just talk about them one by one,
Yeah,
or
let's go one
just
by
say
one.
them
I think
all?
it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is talking about the start of AEW. When this thing started, AEW, the most passionate person about the revolution, the most passionate person about creating this us versus them mentality was Cody. So it's strange for him to just up and walk away. Thoughts?
What I thought was funny about that was it's like that entire line of questioning in the interview was them being like, we never had any issues with WWE. We just wanted to make our own special little thing with our friends. And Cody was just so mad. He's just so mad about the Stardust thing that he was just always, and it's like they all were doing that corny shit. There's so many
Mm-hmm.
tweets, so many Young Bucks Twitter bio updates, so many gotten to Kenny Omega quote tweets and sound bites and BTE gags and stuff. Like they were all in on that shit, period. And they were doing it because they were all of those guys were shitting on WWE to AEW fans the same way Jim Cornette shits on AEW to fans of the Jim Crockett Promotions territory days that are never coming back. You know what I mean? It's literally just you
Yeah.
shit on what your audience hates and they'll love you for it. So
Mm-hmm.
they made their core fan base people that don't like WWE straight up.
Yeah. And what I also think is very funny about this quote is yes, they did used to do a lot of, you know, shots, taking shots at WWE and stuff like that. Remembering the parking lot that got Jimmy Jacobs fired, um, or like the evasion thing. And I think it's very funny because hold on, I'm trying to remember my thought.
It's okay.
Now it's not like now it's just, oh, I just wanted to do something promotional with my friends because you're actively going in war with it. Like it's actually affecting your pockets now, and it's making this a lot more fun, like less fun. Like when you're just in the basement smoking with your friends and talking shit, that's great. When it affects your livelihood, oh shit, this isn't that cool.
Yeah, and I mean,
being an edge lord ain't that cool, huh?
well, that and I think that now it's like, I mean, we talked about it. We talked about it before, but it's like, it's 3 years now. We're like in year 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Year whatever, yeah, like year 3, year 4, I guess. And you can't every week talk about the revolution and how you're changing the business and you're going to overtake whoever, whatever. It's not happening. It's clearly not happening. It's
Mm-hmm.
demonstrably, factually not occurring. So it's like you really do kind of have to, on some level, pump the brakes on that because you'll start to sound like silly.
Mm-hmm.
You need to just focus on like building your own brand and telling stories the way you want to tell them and stuff. And like, I know that he's only saying that shit because it's like Cody Damage Control and I imagine Khan put him out there to go, full like Real Housewives confessional about the shit. But there is some truth to that. Yeah, you guys should stop talking about a fucking revolution and just try to make a good goddamn show. Could work out for you in the long run, maybe.
Yeah. And then also, before we get into the next quote, this isn't the first time Kenny mentioned that, like, talking to Triple H and then them just kind of just being cordial and kind of seeing eye to eye on his vision. So like I definitely feel like after he had that meeting with like Triple H, or like he was just like, not that bad.
Yeah, right. I mean, I will say, I think there's a little bit of truth to him saying, like, Cody knows all those guys, and like we only met them like once or twice. Is true. It's like maybe you do have slightly less beef with some people because like you're actually beefing with like an imaginary idea of them. You're beefing with like the internet meme version of Triple H that walks around with a shovel, like not him as a human being.
Like you're mad at Triple H, but they met Paul Levesque and was just like,
he's just a
nice guy.
Nice guy.
Yeah. Okay. Next quote. Talking about kind of the show format of AEW. There was Kenny doing his thing, the Bucks was doing their thing, and then there was the Codyverse over there doing whatever it is that he does. First, I just want to say, remember where you heard Codyverse first, baby.
You all know where you heard it first.
You know where you heard it first, baby. Dog. Since episode, I would say, goddamn 30. You heard it here first.
I swear it's like funny to me because we've all been saying since the show started that it feels like 6 shows at once, and not in a good way. But it's weird to me that he frames it as sort of like, oh yeah, it was a bunch of different things, but Cody's different thing was the problem. It's like, well, no, it being several different things is a problem. Like wrestling ideally should be kind of like a circus and like a variety act where there's different things for different people, sure, but it should still feel like it's all the same show. And it's kind of never felt like that. And like, I don't know, the idea that those 4 entities thought that they could start a show knowing ahead of time how different their opinions are about the business is like, it's what people used to complain about WCW and stuff in the booking committees. You know what I mean? Like you listen to shoot interviews where Kevin Nash talks about coming to work and it's him and 11 guys writing Nitro. You know what I mean? Like you don't need that many cooks in the kitchen with this type of stuff. So, and I don't know, I think it's unfair to single out the Codyverse.
So, I do think so as well. And then like we're seeing, just to talk about the Kevin Nash quote, so it's him and 11 guys, and then AEW is just like, well, we have no creative team, but then they force all of their wrestlers on. Remember, guys, every single person on that roster, that very bloated roster, has to write their own creative and then pitch it to Tony Khan. Is that not like, it's sort not of having a writing team better?
There are, I understand people's critiques of the WWE like having writers system. You know what I mean? Like, Jim Cornette talks about like wrestling shouldn't have writers, should have bookers, and like, yeah, if you're running a promotion in one town and you guys travel, you should have a booker. If you're a publicly traded company with this insane amount of revenue, you can't just have a guy. You know what I mean? Who makes all these decisions? Even if it's Vince, you still need to be more people. But I think that it's sad that they're so obsessed with going in the other direction that they're not finding like if the solution to WWE overscripts its promos would be to script them less heavily and work with talent on phrasing. And if there are guys who can talk, let them talk. If there's guys that aren't, work with them on it. The solution is not the other direction. The solution is not no writers, just vibes. Just go out there and see what happens. Literally tonight, there was like five or six different moments where I was like, this is what happens when no one is like really plotting this stuff. It's just all improv.
I still to this day, like even when it started, I always felt like AEW was a very poorly produced show. And then like, first year on TV, I was just like, that's fine. They have nerds and shit like that. Like, or, they never really done something like this before. I'm seeing year one mistakes on today's show. And we're going to talk about that.
Yes.
And I'm just like, it's insane. Like I went to two AEW, like I say what I have to say about AEW, but I went to 2 shows, hard earned money. I went to 2 shows. I had a good time at the beach break or beach bash, whatever. Bash at the Beach, that's what it was. In Miami. I thought that show was really great. And then I went to the most recent show. I didn't think that was that great. Venue much smaller, felt very poor, and production was not great. But nah, I just to circle back around, I do think it's like, nah, Cody, his thing was nah.
It's like
what we were doing, really good. Cody, I don't really know, because like they're not even mentioning the Jericho stuff,
which I think is really weird, because I know it's not like, look, I know Jericho's fallen off pretty hard. I'm not going to lie about that. But for the first year or two of Dynamite, he was one of the only guys who was able to like string together stuff in a semi-logical way.
Yeah.
I think both him and Cody definitely brought something important to the promotion, which was like understanding just basic level storytelling stuff and presentation, how to make people seem like bigger deals. They both just had the problem of primarily focusing on getting themselves over, you know? Yeah. But I mean, I still prefer that to not getting fucking anybody over, just doing stuff, and referencing your YouTube sketch show. Like, nah, that's not the vibe. I'm not into it.
Yeah, definitely not. And then also, it's really hard to say who they've gotten over for real, because I thought when Hangman Page was getting cheered over the Bucks, who was like on top of the world, literally just a week before they started doing that, he becomes champion and he's like the same. Like I said it last week. Like I feel like Hangman Page is the champion that he would have been in 2019 if he would have won that match against Jericho.
Yeah, they literally was like, oh, we held off because it wasn't right. We needed to lead with like a real star, which was, I think, made sense. Yeah, that was smart. The right call. But yeah, now they pulled the trigger on him, and it's just like, y'all probably should have had him get like fucked really quickly or something. You know what I mean? Or like, or had it, or go to like a chase thing immediately.
Don't have his first opponent be the best wrestler on your fucking roster, and then have him.
Maybe don't do
and
that.
And then after him, just have everybody that just matters significantly much less.
I don't think anything is more sad to me than like they main evented an episode of Dynamite a couple weeks ago with him defending the title in a Texas death match, whatever, against Archer.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, for the most part, I enjoyed the match. I'm not gonna lie. I like Page. I like Archer. But it was the main event of the show. They both were like bleeding like crazy. And it was like the lowest segment, one of the lowest segments on the show ratings wise. And they talked about it like, and also the champion is here. We have this match. It was like an afterthought.
Yeah.
And then the very next week, Archer is wrestling on Dark. He just challenged for the World Heavyweight Championship, and now he's wrestling some guy I don't even fucking know on YouTube. You know, that's indicative of a larger problem.
That's just how it goes. And then the final quote, I don't think we're gonna have much to say about this quote, but just laugh. But though my relationship with Cody was great, he's not a guy that I would go get a Diet Pepsi with on my time.
So here's the thing. I don't even know if Kenny actually drinks Diet Pepsi, but I do know that Kenny insists on always speaking like a fictional person. Do you know what I mean? Like he insists in all aspects of life, shoot or work, talking like
this is a Dubert quote.
He talks like in a fucking, like he's a character in like a dating sim game or something. You know what I mean? Like he's just programmed by, I don't know what the fuck, but I used to be a really big Kenny mark, but like every time he opens his mouth, I'm like, man, I would love for you to have a gimmick where your fucking lips are sewn shut. That would be so great for you. Like, oh no, I got hit in the face with a bat. Now I have to not talk for the next year for an angle. Oh, great.
Good fantastic. But no, I thought that quote was very funny and random because you didn't have to say you don't hang out with Cody on your off time because that doesn't matter.
It's not really. Yeah, not at all important.
I have a great relationship with some of my coworkers, and I'll never see them on my day off. I still tell jokes with them. Like what the fuck. But with all that said, let's get into AEW Dynamite.
So, in order for us to fight together, we need to bleed together. I don't need this to make anybody bleed. You want a match? At Revolution, you got it!
What? Bring it! Let's see it!
But don't be surprised if you're the only person bleeding.
Oh my God.
All right. Overall, this AEW episode, how'd you feel about it?
I went in thinking like, man, at least I'm going to get a Bryan Danielson match. That's cool. That's really all I want.
Mm-hmm.
You put one of these on the card, I can overlook a lot of other things. And they put it on last. They made sure I fucking stuck around. And it's still kind of underdelivered for me. And that made me really sad. I'm like, this is the one man I'm supposed to be able to count on. And it was still good. I'm like, it wasn't bad, but it was like, it felt more thrown together than the Moriarty match to me. It felt like, like last minute. I imagine it was last minute, but also felt last minute. And it felt like it didn't get enough time relative to like some of the other matches on the card.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the segments on the card, just some of like the promos and stuff. Like, I know. I don't know if, I feel like Dynamite's been more promo heavy lately. And I don't know if it's just because of the MJF Punk feud. I mean, it basically is solely because of them. But I know people complain that WWE is too talky and they have too many like promo segments and stuff. But I feel like at the very least, WWE's gotten away from like the half an hour opening show promo with Triple H talking or whatever. And the promos move at kind of a better pace. And there's more variety within them in terms of tone. When I watch Dynamite and I hear MJF's music or Punk's music, I know they're just going to talk forever. And they're not actually moving anywhere in the story. Do you know what I mean? Like, we went through more than a month, I feel like, of the build for the original match between the two of them. I don't remember how long it was, but it was several episodes of Dynamite.
Yes, it took like at least like 6 months.
I feel like it was
6 weeks.
It felt like 6 weeks, right? Like a 6-week build for a match. Half of those promos were just them
digs at WWE,
fourth wall digs and stuff, right, and like being meta or whatever. So novel. And now MJF won. Now emotion. And here's the thing: I'm not gonna lie, I don't like MJF like at all, but that promo I would have been fine with if I knew that it was actually part of like a larger plan to like do a double turn or something. You know what I mean? Because like Punk being a babyface has been incredibly boring. And at some point, they're going to have to pull the trigger on that. That guy does his best work as a heel. I fucking returning folk hero CM Punk, I'm over it. I'd rather see him like do some fun shit. And as much as people say MJF's like the best modern heel in wrestling or whatever, they love that fucking guy. They boo with erections. You know what I mean? Like they are so stoked to see him work that, you know, maybe you should just fucking turn him face. You know what I mean? Like if people are really into him, you know what I mean? Like that's actually what, if you have a heel that people like love to hate to that degree, eventually that turns into just genuine love. And that was an emotional promo and stuff. And like, it could have like, if I thought it was going somewhere, I would have been like, this is acceptable. If this is like an actual interesting wrinkle, it didn't feel like a last minute thing. But we all know it's just going to turn into MJF being like, I was kidding, Punk. Actually, I hate you. And whatever sports team is in this town, you know, and it'll be like, holy shit. Oh my God. He's so much heat.
Yeah. So, well, we got the MJF nerd ass promo out of the way. And I do agree. Like, they play along. Like, I think MJF is the only, like, talent on the show that they actively like play along with. They love, like you said, they do love him. He comes out, they will boo because they know that's what they're supposed to do.
They know it's their job. Yeah. They're helping him out, doing a solid.
Yeah, basically. But if they were to turn him face, because they did genuinely, they were silent, they were stunned, they felt bad for the kid. but all I thought that was a very weird promo to put into week 8 of this feud, especially after he just cheated to win the last match. Why? Why wasn't this like week 2 or week 1?
Because like
this is a week 2 promo.
Yeah. Because I mean, if they had led with this or something, if this is like where they're not day 1 or whatever, but if earlier in the program they introduced this emotional element before they ever touched, before the match, I think the match would have had a lot more like actual, connection, story, and not just like whatever that was. Doing it now, I'm like, and it'll definitely, I think, maybe make the dog collar match more, they both want it to be like some, emotional, fucking bloody, heartfelt shit or whatever. But what is the purpose of that if it can go one in 2 ways? What, Punk gets his win back, and then that means MJF can't beat Punk without cheating. I don't know what Punk benefits from that at this point. He's not doing shit on the show. He's just hanging around. And then if
MJF doesn't.
If MJF wins, but he doesn't like turn face, and he wins in some more dastardly way or something, like I don't know. I strongly feel like MJF needs to beat Punk and like soundly beat him. Because if you're not going to have MJF like beat Punk like for real, who else are you going to have him put over? You know what I mean? Because who are you protecting him for? What storyline?
Yeah, especially if he's never going to get a title shot. So, it's been damn near 2 years, and I feel like once he gets it, they're going to pull the trigger on it. But like, he is the only motherfucker that has like championship aspirations. So I'm just like, what the fuck you guys are doing here? But this promo, good, could have been cut. Like I feel about this about every Punk and MJF segment. It definitely could have been cut down. Like,
yeah, it could have been shorter.
Well, I'm not going to repeat what he was called, but like I could have did with knowing that he was a nerd.
I wonder how many people had to stop and Google like, is MJF Jewish? Can he say that? Is he good? Like, is he? You know what I mean? Because like his promos are just so corny and edgy that I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't have been shocked if he like was not Jewish. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like if that was just like a, I don't know.
I want to play that promo for Eric and see how he feels about it.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that actually.
But nah, I thought that was he kept repeating it too. It made me uncomfortable because I was just like, this is wild. But
and again, it's like that's something you do if you're trying to make the crowd uncomfortable. But like, why is that your goal in this promo?
Yeah,
why are you trying to make them unsettled? To what end?
I don't get it. Like it's so weird. But we're gonna move on. The tag team battle royale that starts the show. I started the stream. I saw that there were more than 8 people in the ring all at once, and I said, "Yep, this is a shitty multi-man match." And then I walked away from my screen. This is nothing of substance that goes on in this match. I don't think there's any really cool spots. What is it? Orange Cassidy helps Trent not get eliminated, and then he gets eliminated in a very stupid way, fighting Santana Ortiz over, reigniting the fire from a match that took place damn near a year ago.
I don't remember that match at all.
Damn near.
I don't like when they were doing that. I was like, "What are they talking about?" And to be fair, I don't watch every week and stuff, so like I'm not as diehard. But like, I was like, I don't even remember people talking about that match because even when I don't watch stuff, people talk about it, and I'm aware of it being like a thing people liked. But I was like, "The fuck?" I don't remember that.
Because somebody didn't debut during the segment. That's why.
Well, no, but it's okay. It's the flip side of the debut, right? It's the long form storytelling that's just referencing something that happened a year ago that we have not done any other
expanding upon. Like, yeah,
it's the Family Guy. It's the Family Guy cutaway gag of storytelling. It's just remember that match, and then it cuts away to like Excalibur yelling, and then here's the match again, like long form storytelling. Like, okay,
yeah. But the final 4 is the final 3 is John Silver, Kyle O'Reilly, and Matt Jackson. I don't know why the Bad Back Buck is the final one. I think that's very stupid. But John Silver gets a little run or whatever. I don't even know what to call it, a comeback spot. Shout
They
out
do
to
stuff like
Quan,
that a
but
lot with him, and I don't know the point is if he's never gonna like
win anything.
yeah, but alas.
Like it's just whatever. And then Nick Jackson and John Silver are fighting by the ropes, and Kyle O'Reilly just goes, "Yeah, let's get it," and then eliminates both of them. And I thought that was okay. I thought that was fine. Red Dragon is going to be in this triple threat match against whatever the fucking team.
Jurassic Express is that the name of it?
Yeah, Jurassic Express.
I just want to
Jungle
say
Boy.
the number one thing that stuck out to me during this entire battle royale into the post match segment and all the story stuff.
Mhm.
Every time they cut to Jurassic Express watching, and it was just them sitting at the ramp, and then Christian pointing stuff out to them and talking, I was like, man, I know a lot of people made fun of Christian for not, for leaving and coming to AEW and stuff, but he's getting paid, I imagine, pretty good money, and he is actually bumping less on a monthly basis than he would have been if he had stayed in WWE and once a month would get beat up backstage to fuel an Edge promo. So, like, if he had stayed in WWE and he was just going to be in the background getting beat up by people to make whatever Edge feuds look cooler, he would actually have to work harder for his money than he does just walking around with Jungle Boy. So, like, have to respect.
Here's my rebuttal to that. This motherfucker said he was going to come into AEW and outwork everybody.
That's okay, but here's the thing. That's what being a good worker is. Getting as much money as you
fuck
can.
out of here.
Doing as little
suck
as
a
you
dick.
can.
No,
That man,
this motherfucker said he was gonna come through and out wrestle, outwork everybody. Outwork. That means he's going to do more work than me.
I think
doing.
I see the vision, Christian. It's you hang out. You give some fictional pointers to these guys. You shoulder pat the dinosaur.
I see the vision as well, but you are lying. I didn't say that I was going to go out there and give it my all and then not. So that's that. And then let's just talk about the post-match really, really fast.
Oh, yeah.
Hangman Page just walks on out like Stone Cold Steve Austin, I guess, and then just starts beating the shit out of Red Dragon. And the Bucks are just like, I don't know if I'm going to help you all. And then Adam Cole shows up at some point, and then segment over.
Yeah, well, Paige cut a little mini promo in rhyme form or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And again,
the poetry.
I'm not feeling this at all. And I still, I have not really enjoyed anything Cole's done since coming over here, but I'm still open to Cole having a good match. Like, I haven't like fully written him off. And I like Paige actually quite a bit. I don't give a fuck about this match. And it's for their world title. I don't feel anything.
We're gonna get to a match that I'm infinitely more excited for, and I don't even think it's gonna be good. But I'm way more excited for something else that happens later on in the show. But another promo, we get Chris Jericho versus Eddie Kingston, and I think the worst promo segment on the show. I thought MJF's segment was much better. Hangman Page doing poetry was much better. I don't know what the fuck this was supposed to be.
I felt like Jericho just steamrolled him the whole time.
Oh yeah, he smoked him.
And Eddie Kingston, his in-ring has never really impressed me that much, but I feel like his boon has always been the fact that he, like, people say he's a good promo. And he has cut very good promos in specific situations in the past. You know what I mean? I've definitely, like some of the stuff he did in Chikara was really powerful, but it's like he just stood there while a dude just like said rough shit to him for like 10 minutes straight.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say
nothing.
at the tail end of this segment, I felt like, Eddie Kingston was like getting into his bag, and then Jericho just stomped them out in rebuttal. But Eddie Kingston saying that, oh, nah, I want to fight. I'm here to fight. And this dude just said, your uncle and your daddy's a failure.
He said your uncle's a failure, your father's a failure, and he just looked like, why I oughta? Like, it's like, bro,
I'm a thug. Like, what?
And it wasn't even like, they didn't even take, okay, first of all, they had all those security guards in the ring. They didn't even take the route of making those guys separate them. You know what I mean? It was just like, I want it so bad. But it's like, do you want it so bad?
No,
he looked like a loser. Is the whole thing? He looked like a loser.
Jericho demolished him,
and it wasn't. I mean, you know how maybe Jericho thinks that he was so mean in the promo that it's going to make people want to see Eddie overcome him and prove himself. But it doesn't. I didn't feel that at all. I didn't hate Jericho for the things he was saying. I was like, oh, this stuff all kind of checks out. Like, that's not a good. I don't think it's a good thing to do in a promo. You don't want to say a bunch of stuff that makes the people go, maybe that guy is a fucking loser. Why am I watching this guy?
You convinced me a little too well. But I was always convinced that he was a loser. And then also, I think this is very funny because this feud stems from Eddie Kingston going, oh, Jericho's holding y'all back. He's not giving you guys the rub like he says he was. And then he turns around and then tries to get the Jericho rub.
Yeah, first of all, these fucking promos, people talk about rubs and shit always piss me off to begin with.
Yes, please stop using insider term, super duper mark terms.
But the fact that entire thing popped off from like Santana Ortiz breaking away from the inner circle, and now they've broken away and have done fuck all. And
I would say this: they just broke off. But
yeah, I know.
They don't even get far in that tag team battle royale.
That's what I mean. It's not even like, hey, let's show that they're like the fact that John Silver got more burned in this fucking battle royale than they did. You know what I mean?
Like who do you
know
now?
You're not going to fucking push the Dark Order as a tag team anytime soon. If you have some plans to push Santana Ortiz now that they've broken away again, that would have been a good time to. Yeah, what do I know? What do I know?
You have to be on coke and then have the sheet of paper with you.
Yeah, man.
But nah, this segment very weird and bizarre. I don't believe in Eddie Kingston at all.
Yeah, I also feel like Jericho is just really feeling himself. I don't know what's going on with his stomach, but like, I don't know if he's been on the flat tummy tea or like he's slimming
down.
He's got that. I don't know, man. He was literally doing the like how Jay White comes out. I mean, he's not cut like Jay White, but he was very clearly doing like the Jay White
sucking in his gut.
Like, shit, I could fucking do that. I was like, oh, bro.
I thought it was very funny. Jericho was really just starting his shit. Like he was like, you might have like, because I feel like Eddie Kingston does actually feel some of the things that he like says about Chris Jericho, and Chris Jericho was like, motherfucker, I'm really about this shit. I may be fat now, but I'm really about this shit. And I mean, Eddie Kingston doesn't look much better either.
Yeah, that's the thing that's funny about it is like Kingston cuts interviews and stuff all the time where they're like, he says weird things about other wrestlers he has like issues with or whatever. And everyone's like, oh yeah, he's just working. I'm like, I don't think he is. I think he just really feels those things.
Yeah.
It always feels weird.
Yeah. I would, well, whenever he does that, he just comes off as a big ass hater because
that's it. That's what I'm saying. He always just sounds like mad.
Yeah. When, you know, a lot of AEW wrestlers is just like, oh, you know, thanks, Cody. You know, people that like Cody actually like put on, it was like, oh, good looks, you know, shout out to like Jungle Boy did it. And it was like, oh, you know, Cody might have beat his ass, but he made him look, he didn't make him look good. But, you know, he gave him the main event.
Yeah.
And then Eddie Gibbs was just like, y'all could have just texted him? Like, you're corny, bro. You're corny.
It's really bad.
Like, you know, I say happy birthday to the homie on the TL, and he was like, you could have texted him that shit? Like, shut up.
You got a real friend. Like,
yeah, that was like he's, to me, he comes off as really bitter. And I don't know if Jericho is going to humble him in some shape or form, but he definitely humbled him in his promo, regardless if he felt it or not. But moving on, we're going to get to Daniel Garcia versus Bryan Danielson. And I'll say Lee Moriarty definitely had the better match so far.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was a much better match. I thought this was pretty good too. I mean, I've seen Lee Moriarty stuff before that made me kind of think this kid had something. I haven't really seen any Daniel Garcia matches where I was excited about that guy. I am just happy to see, like, look, here's the thing. They put Bryan Danielson on the little fucking IG flyer with anyone, I'm going to fucking watch it. I don't care who it is. Okay? I'm sorry. I've been a mark for this guy since I was like 17. I'm sorry. It doesn't matter who's wrestling. I'm going to be excited. I'm behind Excalibur going, this is a dream match. Bryan Danielson.
Oh, no, fuck off. No.
That is just me. I'm excited to see that guy work, period.
Nah, that motherfucker called that shit a dream match, and I said, "Who's dreaming about this? Shut up, motherfucker! You're a liar.
I just
Why'd
be
you
dreaming
get
about.
in?"
I just be dreaming about seeing Dragon kick people in the head, man. I'm a very simple person, but that's my issue with these matches he's been doing. Is like he's really Dragon is doing what I wish Punk had come in doing, which is like he is leveraging the fact that he spent the last several years in WWE. He's leveraging things that he knows actually set the AEW fan base off. Not MJF being like, I hate your local sports team, but Danielson really being like, yeah, some of these motherfuckers are goofballs. Some of y'all aren't serious. He's actually really attacking real things that unsettled the crowd. It's kind of like what Dan Lambert does, but like not as like goofy. Yeah. And I'm into it. But if your whole thing is going to keep being talking about violence and brutality and all this stuff, and then these matches, you're not really fucking this. Like, I want to see how like him and Roddy used to be on the indies back in the day, where they were just like assaulting people. They're just hurting people.
I will agree. I will agree with you there. Roger Strong was demolishing people, and that's why he's my favorite wrestler. But Daniel Garcia going, motherfucker, I was molded by the violence. I was raised on it. And all you're doing is the Irish. And yeah. Also, are you? And your definition of violence is a dragon screw leg whip? I mean, like what? Fuck out of here. Yeah, hammer like, this motherfucker's head in.
He has to do crazy strikes and stuff. It's like, I don't know. It'd be like Zack Sabre Jr. talking about, like, I'm violent. Like, yeah, you twist people up, but you're not like punching them and kicking them,
Yeah, but he could kick like a motherfucker, but punch.
Yeah, but I mean, still though, he doesn't talk like that. He talks about his like technique and skill. Garcia's like, I'm a fighter. I'm like, you have a towel around your neck. You definitely carry a towel around your neck. I know that means fighter. I know that much. But
Daniel Garcia is supposed to be one of our technical folks on AEW. He's very submission heavy. For him to talk about violence and then like literally do no like deadly submissions. What the fuck are we doing here?
I needed like 8 more minutes and I needed like 44 more stomps. I literally rewatched the Bryan Danielson, Nigel McGuinness, ROH Pure Title unification match the other weekend.
That is not going to compare. Okay, you're holding this to a very high standard.
Here's the thing. I hadn't seen it in years, so I was like, oh, watching it, it won't be as tight. It's still just as tight. So seeing this, I was like, fuck, because all the people who've been hyping up, oh, he's going to be so different AEW. Like, you guys have never seen the real Bryan Danielson. I'm like, well, technically, this isn't him either. You know what I mean? I like that he gets to be more of a bully, and I like that he gets to portray a role that he wouldn't play in WWE. Like, they would not book him to be like a boss bully guy for very long. So it's fun. But he's talking about, I need more violence, bro. I need more violence. You need to kick more fuckers in the head, please.
Was there any European uppercut? I ain't seen none of them shits in them, man. Like, I need them stiff Jones, bro.
Cattle mutilation is not enough. I need you to, well, don't be doing no headbutts and stuff, please. You're a family man now. But if you want to kick somebody in the skull a lot more, just like the stomps, I don't know. It wasn't quite as violent as I wanted, but it was still, I still enjoyed it. I'm happy seeing him on TV anytime.
It was passable, but I don't think it was better than the Lee Moriarty match of last week. And then we're going to talk about the matches post segment. 2.0, who cares? They came out and then started beating up Danielson, and then Jon Moxley comes out, beats up 2.0 on his own. What the fuck? I know it's Jon Moxley, but like, he beat up 2 guys on his own. Like, never put these guys on my TV ever again.
Now they're gonna keep doing it though, just for that. They're just gonna come out and do that. Like, they actually get booked the way like Joey Mercury and Jamie Noble did when they were like the Stooges for Seth, and they're like they're like retired guys in suits. These guys are like actually real active participants. The Mox Bryan standoff at the end, I'm into it. I really want to see this match now.
Now, I have no faith that this match will be like that amazing.
Oh no, almost certainly not. But
I am way more excited for this than the title match.
It's 100% the main match I'm looking forward to at Revolution, because the one thing I was whining about just now is like, you can tell that Daniels is not really trying to fuck these kids up like that. But we all know Moxley lives for being assaulted. You know what I mean? Like, so I know that there's not going to be holding back and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's gonna. It would be the violence that we were aiming for in this match.
Like, I'm talking like, I want to see like Samoa Joe Necro Butcher levels of like,
oh, come on.
just why
happen.
not? Why not? Like, stop.
That shit's not gonna.
Then don't talk about it unless you're gonna be about it. Don't come on
Hey,
my
man.
TV talking about violence.
I am all for it. I do like Samoa Joe versus Necro Butcher as well, but I don't know.
No, it's not going to be like that. But I'm excited for it. And I also think that since coming back, Mox's promos have been a little bit better. He doesn't look as divorced, you know? I'm really happy for that guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. I mean, like, getting sober is not easy and shit. So, like, I'm really happy for him. But also, it'll be nice to be like, this is the first time I've been excited for a match involving him since, like, he was in the Shield, probably, maybe. It's been a very long time since I've been stoked for a Moxley match. So
I would say AJ
there's
Styles,
a couple of
Cena, Moxley, but
that was solid. There's a couple of matches he had in New Japan that were fun, but for the most part, it's been like, here comes this motherfucker in jeggings. He's gonna set up 9 tables now, you know?
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that, and I think we will be doing Revolution predictions in like 2 weeks. So look forward to that. Our quick hits, we're gonna snap through these really fast. We got the House of Black coming out, doing their thing. Pac comes out, and then we get Penta Escudo. Why
they can't legally say Pentagon Dark, right? Is that a thing? Is it like a
probably?
I don't know if Lucha Underground owns that, but yeah.
I think this is a very weird thing to do at the random Bridgeport show. Why wouldn't you save this for the fucking singles match? And then he comes out because, you know, he has to dig deep at the pay-per-view when it matters the most, not on a random ass Dynamite. But what fucking ever. I thought the match was very lame. Brody King is terrible. Who is this fucking guy?
I'm like all right with Brody. Brody was something that's bothering me. I don't like Black in this role. I don't think it really suits his skill set.
No, it doesn't suit his character.
It doesn't. I mean, and this character is like just nothing. It's just like the True Detective opening, I guess, is his character now. And of course we can't go more than a week or two without a fucking portal opening. Mm-hmm. We had to have
another day. Ratings are low. Hit the button. We get Buddy Matthews debuting. You know, they pulled a swerve, which they got me. They pulled a swerve. But I'll say this. Buddy Matthews standing next to Malachi Black and Brody King, he makes those guys look like shit.
Yeah, he's in great shape.
Look terrible.
I know he doesn't have much of like a character or like talking ability, but he always has, I think, pretty good matches. Mm-hmm. My thing is just like, why are you in this? Why is this? You guys don't need more stables. Thing one, and thing two, like,
come on, man, we got to get that 6-man tag going.
I guess. Well, who's going to be the 6th man? If Phoenix is not going to be healthy soon, isn't it? Is he? His shit's like super fucked up.
I don't know. But that's why every stable has more than 3 members.
Yeah,
just so they can do 6 men.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I just realized, I was like, well, who's going to be the Pac and Penna's partner for the 6 man against these guys? And I couldn't think of anybody. Then I realized it's probably just another fucking portal. Like that's probably just going to be another. You know what I mean? I don't know who it'll be, but I'm just saying like that's.
Yeah.
It's sad when like every booking thing just leads to like a debut.
Yeah.
Forever.
They don't build to like, you know, there's no building. There's just only more stacking. Ricky Starks and 10 have a match. There's literally nothing to say. This match was pretty much a waste of time. This match could have been on Rampage or literally next week. So it didn't have to eat time away from Daniel Garcia and Bryan Danielson. Moving on, we get Jay Cargill versus the Bunny.
Most of this match took place in picture-in-picture.
Yes, and I feel like when we came back from picture-in-picture, the Bunny got way too much offense.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Too much offense.
You know, I was thinking about the fact that like one of Jade's early matches I think I first saw was her in Red Velvet, and like she just squashed her. And the next time they wrestled was in that tournament, and it was like a much longer match. And it was like, why? Like you already established that you're like more dominant than this like tiny little woman. But I realized that like if Jade was in a different kind of promotion, there would be a real hierarchy of women for her to move through. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or like even thinking of like any major like undefeated streak, like Goldberg's, for instance. He wrestled a bunch of like jobbers for a while, and then he worked up through slightly more named people. But other
Mhm.
than Britt Baker, every woman on the roster is treated as like equally nobody. So there's
Mhm.
no actual progression for Jade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like watching
No,
her fight the
absolutely.
bunny, I was like, why the fuck is the bunny like a threat? You know, why is that happening? And now we're gonna have to believe that Tay Conti is. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah. What fucking ever. And then also something that I caught that was very, very funny was Jade being like, "Who's next?" Tay Conti comes out, and she was just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna beat your ass." And then as play it back, like they might cut it out. Please play it back if you DVR'd it. Take as Tay Conti is running to the ring, Jade is just like, "Yeah, you and me at Reva," and then Tay Conti is like already face to face with Jade, completely like cutting her off.
yeah, I couldn't tell if that was like Tay fucking up the timing of like the
Mm-hmm.
like what was probably supposed to be a real promo, to like set up
Yeah.
a match, or if like you thought it was Jade going into business for herself to try to get on the pay-per-view, which is
Yeah.
really sad if she has to do that.
Yeah. Because when Excalibur literally like after the segment where he just starts listing everything that's happening in the worst possible order, um a lot of a lot of things gets announced for Dynamite. I mean for Revolution, and they ain't got no graphic for Tay Conti versus Jay Cargill. Please play that back. But that is it for AEW. We're gonna go into NXT 2.0.
You guys want to do 2-on-1, huh? How about next week? It's us two versus you two. You know what? Hey, how about this? How about you find your balls and we'll fight right now?
All right. NXT 2.0. We got a lot of stuff established. Like they're already working towards stand and deliver at Mania. And man, I can't fucking wait. That's just gonna be crazy. Um, so first thing first, we have LA Knight versus Grayson Waller. I thought this match was really, really good, but the finish is very disappointing. But I feel like we're just gonna get the blow off match like at some other point in time. So I'm not really too mad at it.
Yeah, I thought it was solid. I think Grace has got a lot of upside. I just wish he'd
Mhm.
get like different gear. I don't know what the fuck he's wearing, and it's so distracting to me. I know it's a really silly
The
thing to
boxing
depict, but
shorts.
every time I see him, it's just like, what the fuck are you doing? But otherwise, no, he's fun. And LA Knight's really grown on me. I was not into
Oh
Eli
man.
Drake before ever, but he's really grown
If
on
you
me.
want to talk if you want to talk to somebody that did not like really vote with LA Knight at first, I said this motherfucker old and I ain't really rocking with it.
But
After the Cameron Grimes feud, this motherfucker is Stone Cold Steve Austin of the PC, bro.
he's over, and like I think he really benefited from the 2.0 transition, and
Mm-hmm.
he's just fun. I don't know, like every time he does the thing, I'm at home, doing it. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
I'm a grown
I
man
do
going
that.
on with this man's job. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm into it. You know what I mean? I never thought
Goes
this was
on
gonna
a
happen.
crazy rant and then that shit's hard. But yeah, they seem to be more hitting at like I think they're gonna do a last man stand because he
That's
said that
Vince.
I'm the last man standing of this whole thing. And then like he has a promo later on the show. He was just like, well, who's still up? Yeah. And then what? So I guess we could be looking forward to that eminently. I'm not sure if standing deliver is going to be 2 nights. I think that'd be fucking insane. But um, I mean, if WrestleMania is going to be 2 nights, and then I guess you can. Dog,
Maybe.
that is like 16 hours of fucking wrestling in a weekend.
Yeah.
That's fucking
It's
nuts.
just
Like
every year. It's just like so
I
much.
asked, yeah, I asked Justin, like, hey man, you think you want to go to stand and deliver? And he was just like, I don't know. That's just gonna take up all of our fucking day. because it's gonna start around like 3. The show ends, and we basically have to like run to the arena for Mania.
Yeah, because it's not close, right? Like it's like further into
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But moving on, we get Trick and Mello. They come out, talk their shit about beating the shit out of Cameron Grimes, and then Pete Dunne comes up and sets the challenge for next week. Pete Dunne says Carmelo never beat him, but I remember that triple threat, man. You're not fooling me. So excuse me. I think him getting the singles match is going to be fine. I don't know who wins, but I'm cool with either one of these guys winning.
Oh, it's totally going to be Mello, I think. I mean, I don't know how much longer they can really keep Dunne around. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know
not in a bad way or anything. I just mean like, I don't know how much more you can really. It's time, you know. But
him and Cameron Grimes are like two people. Like Grimes, Dunne, LA Knight, Tommaso Ciampa are like dudes that I'm just like, two or all of y'all need to leave.
Yeah. I can see the thing is I can see LA Knight sticking around slightly longer just because he is a good veteran to work with these guys. I feel like Grimes got to go because he actually really has gotten better. I mean, he's always been a pretty good wrestler, but I mean, his character, his everything, his confidence is through the roof. Like he can be on TV, he can be on like on the main roster. Done great in ring, almost non-existent character work and stuff, but Grimes, it's definitely time for Grimes to go on the TV. I don't even care what he did. Just him being on the main roster, I think he'd really connect with people. That to the moon shit is like, I'm so
goated.
I love it.
That shit is great. So Trick Williams and Cameron Grimes have a match here, and I would say Trick Williams is getting better.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that's good.
Noticeably, yeah.
That's really good as well. I forgot who won this match. I should have put it in the docket.
Grimes won.
Okay. I felt that was the case. But I didn't just want to say it and be like, I don't know, that ain't happen. Yeah, so we'll see what happens with Grimes next, man. I don't know if he's gonna be a challenger for I think they already got stuff set in stone for Braun Breaker and them. So
yeah, I really feel like he's probably gonna have like one more something and then go up, but we'll see.
We got Nikita Lyons debuting. How did you feel about this debut?
I thought it was honestly a pretty good debut. I mean, I thought it was a slight improvement over her 205 Live debut.
Yes.
I felt like her gear in that match was a little too cumbersome. Like it looked like just too much shit to be wearing.
It's like skydiving gear, but she kept the straps in the backpack with it.
I don't know exactly what it was. I just know that it was like too much. You know what I'm saying? I knew that. I don't know a lot about fashion or utility, but I know just looking at something like that don't look comfortable. But no, I thought she seems very confident. I think like the fact that she's as like big as she is and
is mobile,
a little slow, but like mobile, and like she has like the martial arts thing going and stuff. I mean, like I feel like even if she gets only like 25% better, she'll do really well. Do you know what I mean? Like she doesn't ever. I don't think she ever has to get great. I think just like her look is going to be enough to carry her. If we're being honest, I mean, I don't know what promos from her are going to sound like. I don't know if we have to listen to more of her music or whatever. But like, if she just keeps kicking people and doing the splits on them, I think that's going to get over well.
Yeah, that's going to get over really well. I was talking to Justin last night about like the match or whatever, and then he was just like, kind of the same thing, not knowing what her character or promos are going to be like, and he felt as if she should be a heel, and I said, we can seriously worry about that shit later. We can honestly let's worry about that shit later.
I feel when I watch 2.0, I feel less critical about a lot of stuff because like half of the people that have debuted have worked there for less than a year. You know what I mean? So like when someone doesn't have this or that, I'm like, we're talking about Pete Dunne, who's like I would consider to be like one of the best wrestlers like in the world right now. And he don't have a fucking character really beyond on the bruiserweight, and he doesn't really cut promos.
Yeah,
he's been a wrestler for how long? He's worked there for how long?
I'm the baddest man.
Like,
like and they just came up with that.
Yeah, so obviously, like some of these people that just get in the door, they get their third match. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay. I can be patient about this type of thing.
I definitely agree as well. I'm definitely like, I'm always open to being impressed, but I can know when the dude ain't really hitting for it. But yeah, whenever I see people on NXT 2.0 and it's literally their debut or like their third match, I go, let's come back in like 4 months.
Yeah, it's gonna take time. Like it's straight up,
And a lot of people are really getting better, like insanely better.
Yeah, like noticeably better. Yeah.
I would say the only people who has not grown would be, even though he's been there forever, Boa.
Yeah, that's fair. I think.
What is it, Hikaman Jiro? I don't think he's grown much. I think the people like him more, but the jacket guy.
Thing. Yeah, the jacket guy. Yes.
I don't. What is it?
Adorable, I guess, but
yeah, I feel like Tony D'Angelo peaked right after War Games.
Yeah, I was really into the character at first because like I really miss characters like that, but he just doesn't have it in ring, and I don't know that he's going to get it either. Do you know what I mean? Like he was featured really prominently in a lot of big matches, and we didn't see noticeable improvement. So that kind of makes me think that maybe he just isn't gonna ever get there. But I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Some of these people are gonna wash out. That's normal. It's like wrestling high school or whatever.
Yeah. But Nikita Lyon, I am confident in her ability. She can move, like not as fast, but like when she did that little spinning roundhouse kick shit, I was just like, oh damn, because she's a big woman. So it's just like, what other big woman is doing stuff like that?
Yeah, as long as she can, like, I don't know, man, survive the discourse. I was at work when 2.0 aired. I had to rewatch it today, and then I was like going back through my Twitter feed, and I was like, oh man, they were acting like somebody got shot or something.
She has to beat the possibly racist allegations.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's
or like possibly problematic allegations.
But like, she's not going to beat the. I saw someone talking about how like, when Naomi does the splits, it's this, but she does it and it's cool. And I was like, why are you guys making up an imaginary person who likes Nikita Lyons and hates Naomi? Who is that? Who is that person?
Pure fiction.
Maybe they exist, but I don't follow people like that. So when people tell me they see things like that, I'm always like, how do you see that?
You're lying.
Who were you friends with?
Yeah, exactly.
When I see really bad opinions, I hit that unfollow button. When I see someone retweet really bad opinions, I hit that unfollow button. I don't need to see this shit. I'm good. So I don't definitely stop making up villains.
Also, it's Black History Month, so I feel like once those jokes blow over, I think she'll be in the clear.
That's true.
And then also, I just want to throw this in really, really fast. And then we can move on to our main event. But Nia Jax, I feel like she's possibly going to go down as the worst big woman in the game.
I think that's fair. She was just really not very good. She just never really got better. She injured tons of people. She seems like an asshole in real life. I don't know. Like I can't think of an upside to Nia really. Like she's gone. No one misses her. There's
truly no upside, and the roster is kind of better for it. And then we don't have to see her doo-doo face as she like walks down the ramp, looking like she never wants to be there. But
no more battle royale standoffs with Tamina.
Oh my God, yo, Nick Khan. I think you all right with me, man. Fuck that. Get that unvaccinated motherfucker out of here. Main event time. We have Dolph Ziggler versus Tommaso Ciampa. I am always a fan of Dolph Ziggler. Not the biggest fan when he's in certain roles, like main event title pictures or title pictures in general, but he is a good fucking worker. And I think he got fucking diamonds out of Tommaso Ciampa here.
I think him and Ciampa had a really good chemistry.
That level of competition. Definitely.
Yeah. And something else I was thinking about too, they're like contemporaries. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the other times where it's like, okay, like you brought AJ down, it was AJ and Grayson, who's like a young guy, and AJ's a legend. But Ziggler and Ciampa, I think, have been wrestling about the same time. Like Ciampa's first ever like WWE dark match, he was like tagging with Kofi before Kofi got signed. So like he's old. He's been around. So it's kind of cool seeing like Ziggler, this guy who's been to the top and now he's kind of floating to the bottom, versus this guy who never got there. The optics of it, the ring chemistry, the intensity, the pace, had a lot of good shit going for it. Honestly, like probably the most I was enjoying a Ciampa match in a while. I'm not a big Ciampa guy, but like I thought it was good.
I think once he finally got away from Gargano and Gargano as well, like as soon as they got away from each other, they started like doing really, really fucking well. Like as soon as their little blood feud, or the thing that Twitter hates, I felt like they started doing really, really well. And like I started gravitating more towards Ciampa because he was not known to be the stamina guy. He was much of a harder hitter. And then he had that feud with Thatcher, and I thought that was fucking sick. But I do like Ciampa. I think Ciampa's great.
I'm glad he seems to be maybe going up, like it'll it seems feasible now, in a way it didn't before.
They posted a little clip of after the cameras went off promo, and that motherfucker was talking his ass off. I was just like, dog, you can't stop cutting promos like this if you're not leaving. Like, stop it. But it was a really good match. I really enjoyed it. I think NXT is having like still into February just really killer main events outside of Santos and Braun Breaker. I think that's the match that kind of broke the streak. I
enjoyed that, but you're right. It was a little bit off. I think a lot of that some of it just feels like Santos is just booking and positioning.
Nobody. That was definitely the case. Next week we're gonna be getting the Dirty Dogs versus Braun Breaker and Tommaso Ciampa. So I think that's gonna be fucking sick. We will look forward to that. It seems like it's gonna be Braun Breaker versus Ziggler at Stand and Deliver, and I think that's gonna be very interesting. Because that means Ziggler will have to be around for a very long time.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. And then quick stuff, the Women Dusty Cup. Wendy Chu and Dakota Kai, they're going to be a team. Dakota didn't know. And then Wendy was just like, I choose you. And your friend said it was okay. And then, Dakota Kai is looking up to the sky and be like, God, for real? So they're going to do the thing. I'm not a big fan of the imaginary friend thing.
Not at all. Dakota got to go upstairs or something, man.
She has to go up. But if she's gonna do the imaginary friend thing and be a face with Winnie Chu, I think that's fine. Because I think it's way. I think it's better than. Doing. Yeah, I think it fits. If she is going to be, R-Truth with little Jimmy, I think that's cool. Her talking to her demons, I don't think that's cool.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's true.
So we get Io Shirai versus Kaylee Ray. They defeat Last Legend and Amari Miller. And I would say, boy, Last Legend looks a lot better than her debut against Amari Miller.
Already,
Insane.
Like literally. Yeah.
Already. And then all of those publications that was trying to make it seem like Last Legend was the worst thing since goddamn 9/11 or something. It was fucking insane how people were really just trying to shit on her for having a bad match when it was literally her first match.
It's literally her first match. And she's a great look. She's good attitude and stuff. Like she'll
that
pick it up,
She was basically wearing Io Shirai shit when she first turned heel, and I was just like, woo. Woo-wee.
Well, Amari Miller's pretty good too. It's like they got I don't know. That match I thought was, it's short, but it's like two former, women's world champions or whatever. Like it should have been short. Wrestling two people who've been wrestling for like a year. Like it's clearly,
you already know people are hitting you're not giving women any time. This is just the Queen's Crown too.
And it's they're literally two, it's like the super team they put together. Their first round match should not be longer than 6 minutes. Like
it's the Monstars of Michael Jordan never got his secret stuff.
yeah, basically, right?
So yeah, I think they look better as Amari Miller and Last Legend. That's great. I don't know how far Kaylee Ray and Io Shirai are going to go into this. I don't know if they're going to win, but that is whatever. Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter, they defeat Diamond Mine, Ivy Niles, and I forgot Shawty's name. I wish Quan was here. Diamond Mine loses. Yeah, she's the new pro. Like she literally just joined.
Yeah, like 2 days ago.
They got defeated by a more established tag team, whatever. And then Ivy Niles just started doing like some reverse choke, and I was just like, is she getting kicked out already, or is she being hazed?
I couldn't tell if she was being hazed or kicked out, but I would be down for Ivy Niles repeatedly being given new women to team with and then just assaulting them when they lose. Because she looks honestly, she looks the most about it in Diamond Mine. Like Roddy's like a really good wrestler and stuff, but he looks kind of like chilled out. And then like the Creed brothers are just monsters, but she looks like I'll die behind this shit.
Diamond Mine, Roddy looks like, oh, I lost the championship wrestling tournament or whatever. I'm at the parking lot with a gun. Like like he is going to he's gonna like recreate the Stomp the Yard opening. The Creed brothers, they'll probably just go out and do it again. Ivy Niles, she's winning. Accolades and all. But nah, if they're gonna haze her, whatever. It's cool. Well, not cool, but
I mean, it would be cool in like real life, you know what I mean? But like considering they're like heels or whatever, like it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Moving on to our quick hits. We got Dante Chan versus Duke Hudson. What I hate about this is Dante Chan being like, yeah, I'm back, handled that family emergency. I'm here to whoop some ass. And then Duke Hudson, I don't give a fuck about your family, bitch. And I get it. It's in the new justing term is it's in service of a bigger story. But I was just like, why y'all do my guys dirty like that? He could have lost and still made out with Persia Parada.
I feel like Duke, for as big a guy as he is, he got like really humiliated in that Grimes feud. I feel like he needed to like, you can't be like 6'5" or whatever and all that shit to just be like a dude on the roster,
Speaking of just making out with Persia Parada, I don't know what the fuck what that was about. And then Duke Hudson being like, oh, what's up with you, Indy? Remember that? And then she was just like, no, that was a long time ago. I don't feel like you should even mention that it was a long time ago. You should have just said no. And then Loomis was just like, damn, it was like that. And then walked away. And I was just like, you was just choking Trick Williams like 2 weeks ago. Choke that nigga.
Yeah, that felt a little
breezy to your wife like that.
A little bit out of character. But I do love that like 2.0 was really bringing back. I remember like the Derek Bateman era of NXT, like everything was a soap opera. You know what I mean? They were really like leaning heavily into that. I think it kind of works. Wild to me that like Born Again Christian HBK is booking this stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like he's just exercising his like 90s toxic energy.
What we believe that it's been talking to Malcolm Bivens and Carmelo Hayes is that HBK is really just trusting them to do things. And this is, the three Aussie individuals that all have history with one another, if they want to have their little Euphoria storyline, he's going to be like, sure, what's a Euphoria?
Can you imagine HBK going home and having to watch this fucking show?
Oh my God.
The Cal episode? Work like, guys, I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, man, I couldn't get past that first episode, man. I don't know.
Cut
it off at 2 minutes in. But yeah, that's the storyline. And what's weird is I don't know if Indy Hartwell and Duke Hudson dated for real when they was on the other side of the island. But I think it's really weird to have you and your ex and your bestie making out on TV, brother. Shit, weird.
Definitely questionable.
We're gonna get Andre Chase versus Von Wagner. Andre Chase being like, motherfucker, I ain't scared of this pussy ass motherfucker. I'm with it. What is you talking about? Yeah, I'm teaching this shit. I'm gonna beat your ass. He's most likely gonna lose, but I love how confident he is that he gonna beat his ass.
Yeah, it's weird that he has so much confidence in this character that would normally be booked like a real cowardly heel.
Yeah,
he actually seems like just like an angry tough guy who doesn't know that he's not strong. Like he kind of has like the same kind of energy as like Oni Lorcan, where he was always just like, I'll fight someone. He would just lose a bunch of matches, but he liked going out and fighting. It's kind of odd. It's a weird. It feels a little bit out of place, but I'm into it.
I love it. I really do, because it has the. At first, I didn't really find them too much funny, but it has like the classes segment to go with it, and then he has a whole section to go with it. I think there's a lot more layers going on here than with Oni Lorcan. But yeah, he's just like, I ain't scared of no fucking fight, bitch. I'm gonna kill you.
It's funny because I mean, like every other wrestler that's had like the teacher gimmick is always like a bitch. You know what I mean? Like Stryker, Dean Douglas. It's always a dude who's just like a wuss or whatever. And this dude's just like ready to fight people twice his size and shit. I don't know.
My guy got heart. The Rednecks, Brooks and Jensen, they set up a dating profile thing, and these segments suck.
These guys suck, so it works out perfectly. Yeah, like they're kind of awful. So
just fuck Caden already. Like it doesn't matter. Like have that happen. Like have that as a WWE exclusive instead of Carmella and Corey. Just upload their sex tape to YouTube. Like stop the bullshit. I think the funniest part of I feel like the one funny moment in the segment was just like, I like girls, I like guys. Wow. And he was like, I ain't mean it like that, but I ain't got a problem with that. And HBK said, what do you mean?
What do you mean by that?
It is what it is. And then I don't know who came at the end of that segment, and it was just like, no, we just make you a Tinder. Let me take a picture of you. I feel like they should have taken more photos, but they just hit that one and done. These guys stink, man, and I don't really know where that story goes with them and Caden.
I was thinking it could just go into the fucking trash, and these two guys could just like not work there anymore. I just like I know we said, oh, there's other people, like to see where they go and stuff, but I don't have any interest in seeing where these guys go.
No,
unless it's out a fucking either. Window. Like it's like probably the only act on 2.0 that I actively am like, just go away.
No, I definitely agree.
Everyone else, I'm either into it or I'm like, oh, I'll see where this goes. These guys, no, thank you.
No. And then I don't know why I wrote this here, but I just had it in my last note is that NXT is way too horny.
I know why you had that note there, because it's true. It's like it's like a really weirdly horny show.
Like toxic attraction in a toxic lounge, way too horny. Like Wade Barrett, get this man off commentary. This man is too horny, bro.
It's just unhinged. But like, I don't know. I kind of dig it. Like it's unique. It works. It's not that kind of thing where it's like actively offensive and it makes you uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, like they try to do the edgy, attitude era route or whatever. It can be kind of weird, but it feels natural. It feels like everyone's just really being themselves, and there's a bunch of like. It sounds like all the stories we've always heard about how horny the PC is, but just on TV. You know what I mean? Like, this is how it feels.
You are absolutely right.
It's just a bunch of young, attractive athletes working in close proximity. Yeah, like it's it makes sense.
But yeah, NXT is way too horny, and if they're gonna keep up the toxic lounge, please get Wade Barrett off commentary, bro. This motherfucker is unhinged, bro. But that is it for NXT 2.0, and that is it for us. Thank you for listening to our episode. If you are a patron, thank you. We have news on the hot chip coming very, very soon. You can follow me at Twitter at Cyrus on TWR on Twitter. You can follow Dom at All New Dom, right? Mm-hmm. You can subscribe to his YouTube channel, Armchair All Tour, where he talks about Kimmy, a movie I didn't expect to enjoy as much as I did watching it for the first 5 minutes.
People gotta go and seek it out. It's only 89 minutes long. It's beautiful.
And it has a really great end. You can follow the A Show Network to keep up with all the stuff that we are doing at the A Show RNC on Twitter, and then you can subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/the A Show RNC, where we are having exclusive Patreon content like Spot Callers. We talked about St. Valentine's Massacre. That show sucks. Fuck y'all for voting for it. Legendary Run is coming to a close. Batista, we start closing at kind of down spiraling during his title run. The X8 Diary, the first episode with me, Meals, and Quan has started. Listen to that, please. I'm really good at trivia. Everybody keeps talking about how young I am, but like I guessed really well. So suck my dick, oldies. And yeah, you get the weekly shows. You get them an episode a day early. You get them early, and then we have other Patreon content coming soon. Anything that you would like to plug that you are doing, Dom? Looper? Maybe?
Oh yeah, I also write reviews for Looper.com. I read some clickbait for them too, but I'm really only proud of the actual reviews. So if you see my name on anything that says "ending explained" or Easter eggs, just keep scrolling. Look for a review. I just got bills to pay, but yeah, the YouTube channel. Those are my main things, and yeah, that's where you can find me.
All right. Thank you for everyone that listened to our episode with Malcolm Bivens. Shout out to Malcolm Bivens coming through and really advocating for getting the interview to go down. Mills will go into the story of how he made it happen, because holy shit, there are a lot of setbacks that has come across in these past few months, but it is what it is. Really stay strong for y'all, and thank you for listening. If you are not a patron, hopefully you are a patron next week. Goodbye.